said Dr. Keselato Forson ebe ready 2026 budget no wa grant interviews bebre no oko joy no oko TV3 no oko UTV na we de mixture ana me de brem an jollof ne fried rice mixture na me de brem all can ECG do so be one sem go say hey onye na ready budget say na aka sa asem we kire no insem bebre ba mebo videos amomahwe. This is FMS Trends, and here we give you the latest updates on issues. My name is Maureen Michelle, and you can call me the Information Minister. I'm here to give you the full gist. NT Dr. Keselato Forson ko UTV anope. Okoye na yebisa ni se doc. Na ECG Dumsor ni nkofo ke kasa na ka wo ho na de nsem ne de kasa na yebebre. E ho na finance minister se me kan samacho. Until ECG, and I say unless ECG's problems are adequately solved, Dumsor will not be solved. I said Dr. Keselato Forson kind of make him know. Or say ECG a common nyama problems say what ECG mun say and solve it as a country. Oh, Dumsor will always be a problem. Dumsor will always be a problem because I know say sometimes say anamu the President Mahama chikakra. Mahama Manka samun to so for line kania so ana Dumsor time na mucho anyum ni ma President Mahama 2012 inti Dr. Keselato Forson asemo kan oni me ya adwen or say until say unless ECG is adequately resolved, problems are on my year. Dumsor will always be a problem for this country.
So I'm fixing ECG issues. Next year my ECG kwan the sika wobegin will using the way they want and procure things like we saw. At that one here, no, we have to go for the next 10 years because somebody just want to make money on the back of procurement. Or no. It doesn't matter, Dumsor or Babadebia, because what will happen is that Sikana Wajen, they can't pay the IPPs. And if you don't pay the IPPs, they can't pay their service and it will go down and they'll be Dumsor. So that is the part we need to go. And so we are not just bringing in gas to power. We are not building 1,200 megawatts in vacuum. We are not getting ENI and Cosmos and the rest to bring us 150 million standard cubic feet of gas per day in vacuum, but we are fixing ECG. Because if you don't fix ECG, all this investment I'm talking about will go waste. That needs to be fixed, and so we'll fix that.
What can be about ECG?
Yes, we inherited, you see, ECG revenues are about cash waterfall mechanism. Before we took office, it was about 900 million Ghana cedis per month. Today, them cash waterfall now is the same ECG. What as their revenue has gone to 1.7 billion. As a result of that,
efficiency.
You to use Sikano to be able to pay the IPPs. And the IPPs once Sikadada, I'm a Maji as Ministry of Finance. Now I renegotiate. They may save it it was 1.5 billion. They may save it $252 million. You save it $252 million and ya bombardina the remaining amount. It means me to further crop into ya. At 1.3 billion or so 1.2 no. I can't pay in 1 year. So I agree payment terms. Over 4 years. Year one, or they meet 301. I've paid the 300 million. Next year, I have to pay 344 million. 0.9. Let's say 345 million. I have budgeted the same amount in the budget for next year. 2027, I have to pay another 250. By 2028, I would have paid all the IPP once again. But I want to commend the IPPs. To be honest, when I called them for a meeting, they agreed, and we've been able to restructure their one debt. Now we what hand discount kakranka be am 15%, be am 20%. Yaka boom no. We saved $252 million. Nyana nkoten ibinum so we reduce one rate. For example, one of the IPPs, when we produce solar no, we've moved their rate from 18 to 6 cents per megawatt hour. That's significant shift. and then some of them too have the like Sun Power and Co. They've all given some discount per day. So we are overhauling the energy sector.
If you don't, you
can't power
that is good governance, negotiating for the people.
If you don't, you can't power them.
And to account citizens and non-citizens, yenina forming Ghana problems. Into citizens, AMA, to send me I'm a proud Ghanaian, me a Ghana mapper. Na non-citizens, Ethiopia for, Alata for, Bunkrugu Euro for, just say, or more money Ghanaians, I know my bets now, my imu. According to Dr. K. Forson, also citizens and non-citizens, or more Ghana problems. Nedes yenina ye ka ho ye ne ahoho ma betina krom ha yenina ye ka ho entino eya na ne won say most of the time politicians no and you pointing fingers at them. So omo na Ghana problems omo na cause problems ma Ghana for na den but yet memfo no ye problem ye ka problems no ho ye ka ho ye ne ahoho no ma betina nna. For example, obi anomunsuo nipa ne dia to gatam enye onu kwa a lot of citizens I get and I got an choki in show tone flade a no more granting interviews inti aban bayemwa and so na aban ne de rabe to gatan inti Dr. K. Forson say ye na ye ka ho o ka ho and am so me ka ho.
This country has been raped, and often you blame the politicians alone unnecessary, but also we are all part of it. Ghanaians are part of the problem. Foreigners are also part of it. In fact, people living in Ghana, let me put this, are part of it. Do you know something? Between 2020 April to March 2025, you share when we process or your invoices using the ICOMs.
Yeah.
We call something IDF. IDF ni ya say look at transfer sika if Ghana acquire. That is what you use to process. Now, a transfer ada a quote your school fees on count. Say a local acquire while shopping BBK to be on count. But one now where you import what transfer sikakese, what the bakroma, what the call, no what in Zamabano. Do you know what we saw? Between that 5 years, $81 billion has been equivalent, because some are in pounds, some are in yen, but the equivalent is about $81 billion. In the name of import, oil of Ghana. Do you know something? $31 billion of that amount, no import came in at all.
Really?
Nothing came in. It's in the budget statement. I'm surprised that, and I read it also in Parliament.
You should have mentioned it.
31 billion, nothing came in at all.
That could have built that.
And these are importers. Wow. 31. You see, it's not even the revenue bit. It is the foreign currency. No wonder the currency was depreciating that much. So you say that you are transferring money. It's more or less money laundering, taking money out of Ghana without paying the required taxes.
And why are people still there?
Why people are there? But you see, so we've done the work. We've now seen it. We've handed over to investigative agencies, and now we'll go for the tax. Then we have another group. They import about 91 billion cedis equivalent of goods. But what Ben was misclassifying? Now we're reporting about 70-something, about 50-something billion cedis. So revenue loss, the previous administration lost about 11 billion cedis worth of revenue.
Wow.
That they could have easily go for. But because of misclassification and all of that,
but
they
this
couldn't
is
get
intentional
that.
misclassification.
It's intentional.
Yes.
Stealing from the state. And so I keep saying that sometimes we always say that, oh, the politicians will accuse each other and all, but it goes beyond the politics. It's also you, the Ghanaian citizen. All of us here have a role to play to make this country a better place. You, the importer, you, the citizen of this country, you have a role to play. Eja, waso can who be? Waso or there you contribute to it. It's about you Ghana from Kasa. Na me na we na Ghana ye. So Ghana be ye ya. Onye man go tell them to my. The leaders will lead. You better assume it. Yeah, from Dema, you are president today. He's the leader of the country. He will lead. I'll be made a minister of finance. I'll bring policies and I will lead. But I can't do it alone without your support. Yes. And so many opportunity. I always talk to the people of Ghana that pay your taxes and hold me accountable. hold me accountable and let me justify how I've used your taxes. If you think I've not used it well, you have every right to say whatever to me. But you need to contribute, particularly when you have to do it.
Honorable, someone can 2020 to 2025 okay, 81 billion and says, Kabe, a banks na and
yes, the banks are involved. In fact, I did not miss my words. The banks are involved, and I've written to the central bank. They want regulatory actions in to attack the banks, and I want answers from the Bank of Ghana. If any bank has flouted any rule, may I expect it or the what was punishment or the more. But this cannot continue as a country. Because look, the same people will turn around, currency will collapse and come and insult everybody as if we don't know what we are doing.
And as the finance minister, the baby saw about employment because Obi Shami says where we school 4 years or tifie on yejuma. Obi Shami says 5 years or tifie on yejuma. Waya application na on yejuma. 2 years or tifie, 1 year or tifie. Current national service persons now more most of them are uncertain. So we next year crowbenya juma. Inti employment asem na Dr. Keselato Forson ebe addressi. And I'll say the government is fully aware and fully conscious of the employment concerns in this country, and we are working towards it. Yeah, we keep say ye be committed. Now, omwa or maybe school mutiti fi omunye adwuma nyina ya sorti omo out fefefe.
I've always said that Ghana's problem is waste. See, we waste money too much. There's too much waste in the system, and if we are able to cut the waste, this country will progress.
But how come that these fictitious claims, duplicate, recycled IPCs, inflated invoices, falsified stores receipt, all of this, the system in the Controller and Accountant General Department. Anyway,
you cannot blame the controller. Controller is.
Who should I blame?
You can't blame. I think it starts from somewhere. For example, if an IPC has been issued, the IPC wasn't issued, for example, by the Bank of Ghana, for example, by the controller or by the Ministry of Finance. It was generated by a ministry, department, or agency.
Which is still...
And then going through the process, so they sign and bring it and charge it against their budget and bring it to the Ministry of Finance.
So it's a systemic collusion.
Exactly. And also, I think there's a lot wrong with our PFM architecture, public financial management architecture of this country. The situation is that today, government of Ghana is at the mercy of a contractor to be able to ascertain how much the state owes to ex-contractor. This is wrong.
As the finance minister, anything concerning money, why you baby sa oman si kasa mo nesi wa gongong esi ukon si utiso. And when I bisa Dr. Keselato Forson about in Sawem ene Pokuasi Road, Mangasa muni. Recently, nanko for come one same social media, you so pa kwan nenye, and we are the baby na so ya dry nature say. When you be kata ohina kase dust mini kase dust pao e be ball pa de chew post ni bibia enti e don na Dr. Keselato Forson e kase since he assumed office as the finance minister of Ghana in January no Ghana aban NDC aban we o metua $70 million ena ama contractor now oye pokua since in Sawem Road no $70 million. Me say repeat $70 million dollars. Kameka dollars. Dollars are $70 American dollars. And Sikana, I say, what's $100? And when you buy 1,500, when you buy 1,200, near the another show at us or any man. Or some mako $70 million no metri ama contractor no. Say ye kwan ye mai.
A chunk of the arrears that you audited, the over 68 billion cedis that you said, look, you are not going to pay. You want the Auditor General to audit these arrears to confirm whether indeed these are legitimate claims that are being made. You touched briefly on it in there that about 10 billion CDs out of the 68 billion had been disallowed. And I've been looking into the the interim report of the Auditor General. It seems quite concerning. But with this big push, I saw that the Pokwase-Nsawam Road has been captured.
Yes, correct.
But in 2022, you were in Parliament. Some $750 million was taken from the African Exim Bank alone to construct this road. Where's the money? What did the money? What do you use the money for?
I can tell you that there's no money left. The money has been spent.
750 million.
It has been spent. It was spent before I got to the ministry. And the road is still in progress since I became a minister. We have paid 77 million United States dollar equivalent to the contractor. As we speak, the contractor has not generated additional invoice, but I can assure you that if he does generate the invoice or IPC, Government of Ghana will pay that invoice and to make sure that that road is completed.
But to the extent that the loan was taken in the name of the people of Ghana, and what the money was supposed to be used for, not just for the, this Pokwase-Nsawam Road, the 750 million, there were quite a number of projects, the Swami interchange and so on, but some amount of money was supposed to go in there. If it has not been used for the construction, is it something you are minded to look into?
Oh, yes. I think I've already looked into it. I've seen that part of the resources was used for other expenditures other than the construction of that road.
Other expenditures like what?
I don't have the details with me, but I think if you are minded, by Monday I can share the details with you how they use the resources from that particular loan. It was paid into an account, and how money is fungible and everything went just like that.
But the entire 750 has been drawn down.
It has been drawn down completely. It was drawn down bullet.
It's a bullet like at once?
At a go.
Dr. Chesela to Forson TV3 echo join omo show bi join show ni ade or no mu didi nkomo. Ena Dr.Domfeh and Dr.Domfeh sorry but and video no poppy out pan and confess. But Dr.Domfeh is a prominent person and conforming so or your NPP sympathizer. Or NPP sympathizer. Into Dr.Domfeh say ato Forson fans now original ato is Forson na den no. Masa ato onye she you've done nothing. Oba onye she you've not done anything. Into member na hambe fans. And I didn't want to say papa na ko kana to achiu. Ato Forson no omo neti won o kasa asem ne ato. Hey.
Related into 4.7% fiscal deficit, so we would have been within the remits of the law. Yeah.
So the conversation will continue.
Then during the crisis, we spent 104 billion. Our revenue that we were supposed to rake in 66, we got only 55. I mean, port. We all know that import duties. Okay, it's just a chunk of our revenue. Nothing was coming. And so we experienced that revenue shortfalls. Okay, and here you can't blame those who were managing the economy at the time for the loss of, for the shortfalls in the revenue.
Because he will have to leave.
Okay, let me.
Here and he has to exit. There are quite a number of messages, as a matter of fact. Some of them I weaved into the questions that I asked you. And Prof. Sabapkin is here as well, so we'll continue the conversation. This one that said, Alfred, can Dr. Forson explain some of the cost build-up and when it will come down at the ports? I remember you mentioned the leakages at the port and then also the abuse that is going on in there. It says import duty, import VAT, processing fee, ECOWAS levy, upfront payment by VAT on registered vehicle certification. That's for the import of vehicles. The number of taxes on there. Is it one that you are looking at?
Okay, I thought you will allow Professor Bokpin to speak so that I can sum it up since I have to go.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, and then
I'm mindful of your time.
No, so that's let Professor Bokpin speak. And then
thank you for coming to my aid. Yeah, so I mean, I think government deserves a commendation for where we are. There's still fiscal consolidation. Of course, it comes at a cost. We would analyze the cost. It's just like taking a pill that has a side effect and all of that. And let me also say that 2017, 2018 primary surplus you spoke about simply because we did not adopt a consolidated approach. We had the energy sector and the financial sector cleanup that were treated below the line, and all of that, which allowed us to meet the IMF thresholds and the rest of them. And even when we passed the Fiscal Responsibility Act, that capped fiscal deficit at 5%. We're doing more than 5% if we had consolidated the energy sector and the financial sector cleanup. If you consolidate that, we're doing around 7.1%, 7.2%, and all of that. So the accounting treatment and all of that would have accounted for this. But I think that we have sufficient data to learn from our own history. And I believe that government has responded quite well in terms of the fiscal consolidation. And then now we need to cut growth going forward. I've seen the steps in the budget and the rest of them. And I think that, yes, we've paid a higher price. Here is not time to vindicate ourselves. It reminds me of what happened towards the middle of 2019 when we were exiting the IMF program. We had a forum at Imani, and we made our recommendations and all of that. Honorable Minister, since you are here, you have the option to set a new marking scheme, which posterity will use to judge subsequent government in terms of how we can ensure fiscal discipline whilst we pursue growth post-IMF program.
Okay.
If we look at what is happening now, we can relate it to what of that. Then when we exited the program, it looks like there was a relapse quite quickly.
Okay.
So we have an option of going that same way, of setting a new marking scheme. And I pray that 3 years from now, if we get a chance to meet here, the narrative will be different.
Will have to be.
Yes, and that is what I want to say.
Perfect.
Thank you very much,
In
Prof.
fact, we've got a call number. Senior also says it is unfair to not attribute the fiscal and macroeconomic progress to Dr. Forson and the NDC management of affairs. The gold bond policy alone is a major homegrown policy that optimizes our gold and FX. And Dr. Forson deserves that.
Okay.
Dr. Forson
Okay,
deserves that.
so let me conclude then, so that I can move to another station. Clearly, the number speaks for itself. The gains we have made is feasible, and it is measurable. The numbers they say don't lie.
True.
And so, toss it, roast it. In the end, you can see the outcome of our policies. I agree with Prof. We have a responsibility to sustain these gains. And we need to have a nice balance between consolidation, stability, and growth, and particularly job creation.
Right.
And that is the next level I'm going.
Perfect.
And you notice that this budget was carefully designed to, at the same time, accelerate, create jobs, and most importantly, consolidate the gains we've made over the years. That, I will do that. And I want to use this opportunity to first thank the people of Ghana for their resilience and tightening of their belt to support the gains that we have made. But I can also say that in loosening up, we will loosen up sustainably.
Right.
Create job, preserve growth, and allow growth to go into the real sector and invest prudently by cutting waste and directing the waste to support investment. That is where we are going. We will, at the same time, ensure that we protect the poor by shielding them. And that is why you notice in the budget that social protection budget is going up. You notice that
very important.
LEAP budget is going up, school feeding budget is going up, and many others. In fact, even at the district level, I've increased the allocation from the District Assembly's Common Fund that goes to persons with disability from 3 to now 5%.
Right.
We are using part of the resources to buy motorized vehicles, wheelchairs, to support even people with disability and all. And so I think where we've gotten to is good. We are on the right path. But what is most important is how to sustain the gains.
Indeed.
And we'll do whatever it takes. And I'm sure next year by this time, when I appear before you again on this show to discuss the 2027 budget, the story will be the one that we have sustained gains and even move into another level of growth.
Perfect. A quick response to the tax on the taxes on.
This is FMS Trends. I hope you enjoyed the update. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All the videos that we played, we don't own rights to them. No copyright infringement intended. One customer who say a UTV needs to be 3 for property. And the other Bama Moti and say evidence there. A poppy up baby idea. And was here time near the Bremo. Thank you.